Gli inizi sono potenti. Tanto è cominciato qui, nella città del vento e della scienza, nella città ai confini, dove le barriere, se esistono, vengono soffiate via. Qui c'è un'energia unica che cambia il mondo, genera intesi, supera i limiti. Qui sono nate aziende che hanno colto idee e opportunità. Qui le menti brillano, pensano più forti, creano con una visione chiara. Qui, dove l'innovazione è al servizio dell'umanità, il futuro avrà una casa. Qui, dove inizia il futuro. Gli inizi sono potenti. Tanto è cominciato qui, nella città del vento e della scienza. Nella città ai confini, dove le barriere, se esistono, vengono soffiate via. Qui c'è un'energia unica che cambia il mondo, genera intesi, supera i limiti. Qui sono nate aziende che hanno colto idee e opportunità. Qui le menti brillano, pensano più forti, creano con una visione chiara. Qui, dove l'innovazione è al servizio dell'umanità, il futuro avrà una casa. Qui, dove inizia il futuro.
Buongiorno, sono qui per presentarvi la nuova edizione di Trieste Next. Il titolo della 14ª edizione di Trieste Next è La vita dentro, dialoghi tra scienze e tecnologie. 3 giorni per riflettere su come la scienza e la tecnologia ridefiniscono la vita, su come le discipline STEM dialogano con le scienze umane e su quali nuove domande emergono per il nostro futuro. medicina di precisione, intelligenza artificiale, sostenibilità ambientale, robotica, biotecnologie e tecnologie quantistiche sono solo alcuni dei temi al centro di Trieste Next. È questo il fil rouge del festival, con un programma di oltre 100 eventi in inglese e italiano e oltre 300 relatori di fama internazionale. E ancora, il premio Trieste Next Science Book of the Year, le 70 attività per le scuole e i 40 spazi espositivi e laboratori aperti a tutti in Piazza Unità. Prima di accogliere gli ospiti del prossimo evento, a nome dei promotori e copromotori della manifestazione, vorrei ringraziare tutte le istituzioni scientifiche di Trieste, città della conoscenza, e le istituzioni che hanno collaborato con noi. Il main partner del festival, i partner e i content partner della manifestazione per il contributo fondamentale. Grazie anche ai media partner e ai partner tecnici. Infine, un grazie speciale ai 200 volontari di questa edizione. Ricordatevi anche di controllare il programma aggiornato degli eventi su www.triestenext.it, al quale potete accedere anche da questo codice QR. Buon ascolto e buon festival!
Welcome everyone to this session. It's about private and public finance for innovation development by Italian and Alpe Adria companies. So this is the wrap-up meeting of a series by Eurobio High Tech. And so we're here with Patrizia Andolfatto, who is the operative director of ARIES, of the Chamber of Commerce of Trieste and Gorizia. We have Francesco Menegoni to my left. He's the CEO of Biovalley Investments Partners, SPA. And then we have Stefano Demonte at the very left. He's the manager of Cluster Life Science Friuli Venezia Giulia region. So I'd say let's start with you, Francesco, if that's okay. What kind of financing opportunities are there for startups in Friuli Venezia Giulia and more broadly in the Alpe Adria region?
Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon to everybody. I discovered I have to speak English just a few minutes ago. I hope that it will work. And so just a few words about me and my company. I am a biomedical engineer and I am the CEO of a company of this region. The turnover of the company is 10 million, so we are quite small. But we invested more than 15 million euro in the area, in companies in the area. And this is what we are doing. The idea of our company is the idea of grafting, innesto in Italiano. Grafting means that you put something in something else to have better fruits or better things that grows. And our idea is to take the innovation and put innovation in small and medium enterprises already working on the territory. Why? Because if you go around next this year, there are a lot of interesting ideas and innovations. But when you look deeply at innovation, you discover that one of the main challenges for researchers and for innovators is to be able to go to the market. And if you are not able to go to the market, you can do the best invention of the world, but you are not able to have impact on people. And so our idea is to take the innovation and to use the reputation, the clients, and the history of the small, medium enterprises that are exactly the things that innovation need, because usually innovation has no clients, has no history, and no reputation. So it really works well to put those things together. As about the question, so which are the opportunities for the finance for startups in this region and Alpe Adria, I think that we are in a very, very good position here in Trieste and in Friuli-Venezia Giulia and Alpe Adria overall. I would like to say why, because I will use a concept that 2 days ago Friulia shared with us. When you have a company, or a startup or a company, you can have 3 ways of finance it. It's banks, is the usual one, okay? It's to have some grants from the region or from EU, for example, and then you can have what is called investment capital. So that usually for a startup, it's a risky one. If you look at those 3 areas, here we have all of them. I mean, we are in a region and in a place that put a lot of money for research and innovation projects carried on by small and medium enterprises and startups, usually together with research centers. And that's a very good thing to use for new startups, because you can finance up to 70% of your expenses by doing those projects. And then there are venture capitals, but there are also, as Stefano is here, we have also incubators. So we have special places like this one, for example, where new startups or new companies or people thinking to start a new company can find people to talk about the opportunity and maybe find what is called seed capital. So up to 100 kilo euro, for example, okay? And so you can start doing your thing, start growing, and even you can meet people in your same level, exchange experiences, because each time I am a founder, I founded more than one startup, and each time, like today, everybody speak about the good things, okay? But usually during the story, there are hard times, okay? And if you have people that understand you and had the same experience, you can even talk about hard things. So the product is not working, I'm desperate, I don't want to go on, and so on. But you can find or people that told you, okay, it's normal. Usually 10 people say no for 1 yes, okay? You discover it, and so it's easier. And you can find capital and investors. Then there are companies like us and venture capitalists that can invest up to, let's say, 1 to 3 million. As 2 days ago, Friuli was saying, there is capital around, and there are many venture capital that are looking at Italy and even to our region and our place. So if you're able to do the bootstrap of your company, so the first steps of your company, and you demonstrate the growth, you can find really people that want to help you to grow. And what is changed in the last years is that those people don't want to teach you how to do things. They just want you to support you and maybe give you some experts and some people that can help you in the part where you are not so expert, or you don't have expertise, of you lack some expertise. And then if you grow, you have banks that after that you have some balance sheet that shows some growing and so on. They have instruments, again, of the region, for example, that offer guarantees. So you have not to put your house or whatever as a guarantee for the bank account for having money, okay? Because there is the state, the region that guarantee you up to 80%. And this, what does it mean? It means that for the bank perspective, the risk of giving you money is lower, because a part of the money is there is the guarantee of other people, okay? So I think that for startups and company, the region have many different instruments. It depends on the which segment are you, okay? I'm sure that usually things doesn't go as everybody could imagine at the beginning, but if you are they call it resilience, but anyway, if you really trust and you can even as soon as possible read what the market is saying to you. There's a very good book that is called The Mom Test that teach you how to make questions in order not to have the answer that you want, okay? Usually, if I go to my mother and said, hey, you know, I have a company doing a robot for the chemotherapy, with this kind of enthusiasm, she will tell me, great idea, okay? But she doesn't know anything about the market. So really, even having the ability to do the right questions and to listen to the answers helps you to really find the need and to improve your solution, your innovative solution, in order to grow in the market. Sorry, maybe I was a little bit too long.
No, absolutely. You gave us a lot of food for thought. So I think there's, you mentioned that there's lots of opportunities of funding in this region, and therefore I would like to ask to Stefano if he can enumerate the opportunities there are in public finance. And also another thing you mentioned is that, you know, the key, the crux is really how ready you are to go to market, your ability to go to market. So if you can talk a little bit about that as well, Stefano. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, just to give a look to my experience, I'm an old degree in physics, okay, and I have, thank you, experience from the very beginning with the small companies, spin-off from Synchrotron Trieste when I was younger. Then I was involved in other companies, small companies, tech companies with nanotechnology specialization in such a city that introduced that there in this place should be available a lot of opportunities, financial and not only financial, to develop new companies and tech companies especially. Now I represent the life science cluster of Friuli Venezia Giulia. That means it was an organization financed by Regione Autonoma Friuli Venezia Giulia. And this is our home, for example. Welcome, also from my side. Because we are a part of the Polo Tecnologico Alto Adriatico that is located in Pordenone and here in Trieste. That means it's a system. Then, about measure to support the regional life science system. This is my topics in this moment. 3 years ago, the regional authorities decided to invest in such a sector, in life science, and they started a regional law, you see, 22 law from 2022. These are some bureaucratic meanings, but the result was a 28 million budget to do something. And at the beginning, it was not clear what should be the tools, but we had the opportunity to design these tools together the region, giving our contribution to create some line A, B, C, with the different topics, with the different buildings and so on. The first one was a call for ideas, was just no news, okay, to stimulate innovative ideas in life science. Okay, a little budget, but the real part was the B part, ideas for innovation, because the winner, okay, they don't have only the awards of 10,000 euros, okay, but they have the opportunity to transform their winning idea into a product or process or service through a research project financed up to 150,000 euros to develop here in our region, together with other partners from our region. This is the idea to contaminate this region, also with ideas coming from outside, because half of the winners and half of the applicants were coming outside the Friuli Venezia Giulia. To do this, I go around all Italy, I go around USA, in other places, but we have a good success because there was 2 editions, and in both the edition, more or less 50% of the winner was outside from Friuli Venezia Giulia. This means that we want to attract companies here, not only with money, but offering some partnership with other entities here. That should be universities, other partners, small companies, tech companies, and also some research parks. Then every part of our ecosystem should be a target in such case. Just 2 words on the last line, that is called booster. It's a particular one. Then what's the problem with the research projects? Okay, I have seen a lot of them during my life. I also applied a lot of times. Sometimes there is a fantastic project that's remain in some parts, in some archive of your companies. And every time you run a piece of this project and you stop, but you have no real progress. Then this kind of call is based on evaluation of your idea and your project on TRL. TRL is Technology Readiness Level. You are obliged to check the readiness level of your products that you want to continue to develop before to apply to such kind of call. The minimum had to be 4. It's so complicated, but not so much, okay? TRL is from 1, from idea, to 9, market. Between there is a lot of steps, okay? But not all the companies have an idea where are they. They are near the market, they are ready, or they are very far from the market. They need a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of research. Such kind of call obliged them to check, and they had to start at TRL 4. That means that the product have seen a laboratory, okay? Then there are other steps towards. And this want to be also an opportunity to educate the entrepreneurs, the companies on such kind of qualification of the products. And we have a lot of success on it. But I stop in this moment. I continue later. But this is in line with what said also Francesco. There are a lot of opportunities here. There are a lot of companies. And it's all an ecosystem that is moving within institution, or we are half institution, we are public-private, or other institution as a chamber of commerce.
Thank you, Stefano. So, Patrizia, we mentioned the Chamber of Commerce, and the Chamber of Commerce has a mandate to help with internationalization. Can you tell us about that?
Well, before telling about biotech sector and about why we helped this sector to improve and to grow, I want to spend some words about our company and about the Chamber of Commerce, because it's not so known to everybody. Okay, who we are? ARIES is an in-house company of the Friuli Venezia Giulia Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Crafts and Agriculture, whose purpose is to promote the economy in the areas of Trieste and Gorizia. In-house company means that we are a private company, but we are participated by the Chamber of Commerce, which is a public entity. And so we have a public fund. I wrote Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Craft and Agriculture because normally we always say Chamber of Commerce, but it's not right, because the Chamber of Commerce represents also industry, crafts and agriculture. Our seat is the Stock Exchange Palace that you see in the photo, built in 1804. And in this moment, I think there are other panels of Next in the Sala Maggiore. And since 1997, ARIES has been providing operational support to the Chamber of Commerce and its institutional tasks and services to business. It offers targeted support services for all stages of business development and for the enhancement of the local area. What we do, we support the internationalization, that was a bad word, and export of businesses, the promotion of the territory, development of the supply chains, territorial marketing, and innovation. We create and develop trade fairs and events in the territory, which is the province of Trieste and Gorizia. And we try to create new businesses and fostering entrepreneurship through consultations and through training courses. And we manage public grants. The region Friuli Venezia Giulia give us every year some channels of fund for women entrepreneurship, youth entrepreneurship, for small, medium enterprises that are already in activity, for digitalization and for green transition too. And then we develop and manage the project financed by regional, national and European funds. It's very important to say that we operate in networks. We carry out activities through intensive collaboration with local and foreign business support networks and organizations, with the aim of promoting the establishment of international partnership. In Italy, the Italian chamber system has 65 chambers of commerce in 20 regions. And the network of Italian Chamber of Commerce abroad has 86 chambers in 73 countries. We are part of the network of chambers in the Alpe Adria area, which includes Slovenia, Croatia, Austria, and Triveneto. That includes Friuli Venezia Giulia, Trentino Alto Adige, and Veneto. And we are part of the Forum of the Adriatic Ionian Chamber of Commerce. We collaborate with Italian and foreign sectoral clusters. We are part of Enterprise Europe Network, and we collaborate with ITA agency offices and Italian representation abroad. ITA agency is the ex-ICE. I see. What we do, internalization is a very important theme for us, because we support this internalization small medium enterprises that belong to strategic economic sectors. And with this aim, we create a tailor-made internationalization path that is called client journey. What is the client journey approach? It means needs and resources assessment of the SME's capacity to operate abroad, analysis of potential markets, and then we draft a program of activities tailored to that specific company for foreign markets. This means trade fairs, events, workshops, B2B meeting, and we research and create a commercial partnership. ARIES has more than 20 years of experience in the preparation, management, and monitoring of complex projects under various EU programs. It means Interreg Italia-Slovenia, Interreg Italy-Croatia, Interreg Italy-Austria, Interreg Adriatic Union, EMFAF, that is European Maritime Fisheries and Aquaculture Fund. What are the focusing strategic sectors for us? First of all, tourism, because tourism is very important in Italy, especially in the last years, and in this region and in this town too. We use tools, networks, and platforms powered by Unioncamere, which is the association of the Chamber of Commerce in Italy, and available by small, medium, and enterprises. Of course, biomedical. We take enterprises of this sector to trade fairs abroad. We collaborate with Life Science Cluster Friuli Venezia Giulia and foreign clusters. We have many activities in agri-food. We organize trade fairs here in Trieste. The most important fairs are Olio Capitale and Trieste Espresso Expo. Olio Capitale is the most important fair in Italy of extra virgin oil, and we have 280 exhibitors every year from every region of Italy, and they are producers of extra virgin oil. And we find buyers from all the world to meet these companies. And the other big fair is Trieste Espresso Expo, because Trieste is the city of science, but also city of coffee. And we have this biennial fair dedicated to the supply chain of espresso. And we also here, we organize meeting between enterprises. We tried now to establish a regional cluster of aerospace and defense, and for this reason we have scheduled for next year some fair abroad. Another important sector is logistic and transport because of the presence of Trieste port. Trieste has an important port, and there are many enterprises of logistic and transport that work together with our port, and we take them every year in important fairs in Europe. For example, Fruit Attraction in Berlin, Transport Logistic in Monaco, and next week, Fruit Attraction in Madrid. And last, Blue Economy. We are leader of a public-private partnership of the Friuli Venezia Giulia Local Action Group for Fishing and Aquaculture. This sector suffer a lot in these years for many reasons, because of pollution of the Adriatic Sea, but also because of the generation change that is not so so strong in this sector. And we do many actions for to support this sector. And then naturally nautical and shipbuilding, always trade fairs abroad in collaboration with the technology cluster, Mare FVG cluster. So biomedical, we have called it a strategic ecosystem. The biomedical sector in our region, as Francesco and Stefano said, is a very important sector, has significant numbers, over 170 companies in the biomed, biotech, bio-ICT, active and assisted living sectors, 102 innovative startups, and an overall turnover of more than 1 billion euro, over 5,000 employees, and then, as you know, 3 universities, 3 science and technology parks, and 12 research bodies and business incubators. What have you done for biomedical? We participated in the establishment of the Bio-High-Tech Net Enterprise Network. We supported the network in researching and obtaining dedicated funding, especially regional funding. We supported the network of small medium enterprises of the biomedical sector in several events abroad. For example, Medica Fair in Düsseldorf, you remember, Francesco, since 2010, and to last editions of Health Tech Hub Styria in Austria. We participated and co-organized Eurobio High-Tech since its first edition. The first edition was 216, and as part of Eurobio High-Tech, we organized B2B meetings with companies and also panels of speakers from Alpe Adria countries, Slovenia, Austria, and Croatia. Eurobio High-Tech, I said Bio High-Tech, Euro Bio High-Tech 225. The theme was health technology assessment, as they told before, and is a very specific theme, and the focus was about this EU regulation 221 that has the goal to uniform EU evaluation process of initiative technologies in health sector. And ARIES brought 3 experts as speakers, 2 from Austria, one from the Human Tech Cluster of Styria, and the other from Graz Hospital Association, and 1 from Slovenia, Slovenian Quality Health Care Agency in Health. And then, in addition, we organized B2B meetings with companies and speakers from the Alpe Adria countries, Slovenia, Austria, and Croatia. So I'm not an expert, so I don't want to touch the topic of HTA, but we are convinced that we gave our contribution to Eurobio High-Tech 2025 by creating also this year a forum for discussion and with these neighbor countries, and all the sectors we care are very important, but I think that the biomedical sector is extremely important as it deals with the health of citizens, and so this issue concerns us all. So I finish.
So, Francesco, you mentioned there are many opportunities for startups here in Friuli Venezia Giulia, and I was wondering if you could tell us a success story of a startup that you followed or maybe some lessons we can learn from some not so successful stories.
Okay, thank you so much. I will do my best to try to see the dots and do the links with the dots of the things that Stefano and Patrizia said. And by talking about an innovation that was, the idea was made here in Trieste. And the innovation is about a robot, so a mechanical robot, for the chemotherapic drug facility. So the robot is able to prepare a drug specific for a patient. Why it's important? Because in the 95% of the hospitals, those things are made manually, and chemotherapeutic drugs could be a risk over even for the operator that is preparing the drug. So having a robot doing it is better, okay? Long story short. So the idea was born many years ago, I think 10 years ago or something like that. And we started with a grant from the region that was helping us to fund our project together with, there was a startup, there was one hospital here in Trieste, one hospital in Pordenone, CRO, Cro di Aviano, and there was also another company. So we were 4 partners together. And this initial grant that sponsored the 70% of the cost of research helped us to go from the initial idea drawn, on paper to the first prototype. Okay, it was not possible to go to the hospital with a prototype, but we were able to go from the idea to a prototype. So from TRL, the first one is 0 or 1? 1. So from TRL 1 to TRL 4, let's say, okay? A prototype that was quite working, okay? Then what we did is to show to the hospital, and they say, no, this is wrong, you have to put it in another way, and so on. And so we invest some money by ourselves in order to, so we, let's say, as a private company, we collected money. We did many rounds of investments. The first one was 7 million. The second one was, I go by memory, so I'm not sure the numbers are right. The second one was 1.6 million, then there was 5 million. So we were able to attract 15 to 18 million, the idea, okay? A piece of it, okay, was invested in developing an improved version of the robot. Then, if I remember well, we used some funds from the Chamber of Commerce in order to have some innovation managers helping us to develop the robot. So we try to use every let's say, opportunity that was for us. We did also, if I remember well, an Interreg project, so a project in the Alpe Adria region, so Italy, Slovenia, and Austria, for developing some things of the robot. And then we were able to have something that was working. We collect much more money, and we start to see if we are able to put the robot somewhere in order to work, let's say. And it was the case. We find an hospital that starts to use the robot and collect data and share data with us. And the robot was performing very well, surprisingly, even for us, because usually when you start, there's always a big problem that comes and you have to deal with. In this case, I have to touch everything, but since now everything is working. And then we discovered that we can two things. The first thing is that the robot is a machine. It's not a medical device. The second thing is that we discovered that we can really improve some parts of the robot. I mean, the robot uses some cartridges, so some things that consumables that can be improved a lot. So we again went to the region and we applied for a grant in order to improve the cartridge. We won the grant and we spent 8 to 12 months to improve the cartridge. Then we collect some other money from private part, because we have to spend money in order to develop the technology. And I can say we will apply because on Monday, I think there's a deadline of a grant for advancing the TRL. So for going from TRL at least 4 to 8 or whatever. And why we applied? Because we discovered that the cartridge that now is working perfectly, the market would like it would be a medical device. And so we have something that is working, but if you consider it a medical device, even if it's working perfectly, so should be a TRL 8 or 9 as a non-medical device. When you switch to medical device, it becomes magically a TRL 4, because you don't have all the papers, clinical studies, and so on needed by a medical device. So, long story short, it was just to show you, and no, not only, sorry, and then we also apply to European Enterprise Network. So we use again a service from the Chamber of Commerce, sorry, short, Chamber of Commerce, industry and so on, for finding partners around Europe in order to distribute the robot. And so we tried, I'm sure I forgot other things, but we tried to use all the opportunities that there are in the region. To give you some numbers, I think that we invested by ourselves 3 million euro on the developing of the robot. Without the help of the instruments of the region, I think that it could be at least double. Okay. So for us, means a lot to have the availability of those instruments, and even what before Stefano said, to have an ecosystem. So to have not only the Chamber of Commerce, Friulia, the banks, so all the things that you need in finance, all the things that you need for helping you to develop products, but also what we saw, and usually when I spoke with a regional, let's say, yeah, assessori, I don't know what's the English for it. But anyway, I stress the fact that we started with a grant from the region, and now the robot is selling 1 million euro per year as turnover, okay? And I think it's a very good example of using the things that region give to other people and be able to capitalize and go to the market. But also what we discovered is that when we went to the market and some hospital of the region discovered that we were on the market, not in this region, they opened the door to us, and so we are also collaborating with a regional hospital. And it's very important for us because since we always want to improve the capabilities of the robot, having the hospital at walking distance, or let's say having the hospital at 1 hour by car distance, means that we can do a lot of cycles in order to improve, test, improve, test, improve. If the hospital is 4 hours by plane away, it's harder to say, okay, I will be there on Friday, let's see together what we can do. So that was a happy ending, I hope, story, because it's still going. And not always things works in this way. Sometimes, for example, I remember a company I founded that was based on genetics and epigenetics. We, again, use funding and so on, but we were not able to have at least a market able to see a growth that could justify to put so much energy in it. So what we did is to use the knowledge that we acquired during the lifetime of the company that is still alive, but it is not able to grow with the business model that is currently doing, is to use the knowledge, because we discovered that the experience that we did in this field, for example, was very helpful for a business unit of the Biovalley company that is about orphan drugs for rare disease. So even if that company will not become a unicorn or whatever, so probably we merge the company with us. It gave us the opportunity to have experience that we can use in order to improve some business unit of our group, let's say. So not always things goes as you wish, but the idea is when it doesn't go, we try to, when I spoke to students, I say, I am an error-making machine, okay? So I do, each day, I do at least one error. I want to be good with me, at least one error, okay? The idea is not to repeat it, okay? Try to collect new errors, like when you collect cards or whatever, okay? You don't want to have doubles of the card. So the idea is everybody is doing errors, even us. We have to try not to repeat those errors. So if the company that was not able to scale, okay, did some errors, let's try to build, even if in a, let's say, very, very tight business unit, very similar, let's say, business unit, try to leverage those errors in order not to repeat them in this unit, okay? And it happens.
Thank you so much for this. Stefano, can I ask you the same question? Like, do you have some success stories and that you'd like to share with us?
Okay, that's a good question. I start from such point, but we are managing some money and some projects that are still running. We have not just finished the first batch, but anyway, I would mention two examples. One company with an entrepreneur coming from Switzerland, was originated by Trieste, but worked and studied in Switzerland. She works on salivary diagnostics, and they applied such a result to personal health and also to basket players here in Trieste to manage the health of the players, if they are able or not able to play tomorrow, okay? And such is a good example of application, starting from an idea, coming also from outside, that came here, was funded by us, but not only funded, she found here a lot of cooperation with some laboratories from ARIES Science Park and other part. And she's working here usually during the week in such boxes with their other researchers. Then another example is a spin-off from SISA, that's International School for Advanced Studies. It's a PhD factory, okay? There is a company that is working on smelling, working on smell and nose to check in advance some neurodegenerative disease like Alzheimer, Parkinson. If when you will be with my age and later, pay attention if you smell well, if you smell everything, because if you have a decay in such olfactometry parameters, should be a sign of such kind of disease. Pay attention. This was interesting information. Just to give you an information about a lot of topics that we have found during this time, from nutraceutical to innovative diagnostics, medical device, prosthetics, clinical platforms, oncological and neurodegenerative therapies, and also active assisted living, a digital device to help to the people to live better. Really, the opportunities are a lot, and the activities are really in many sectors, in many range. But I want only to mention some numbers, because at the end of the history, at this step now today, we have spent about 18 million euros of public resources. We have moved some project values more than 31 millions of investment for research projects. And there are more than 80 projects started and running still now, with about 19 new companies established in Friuli Venezia Giulia. There are some numbers that are running. The difference between previous call and managed by other office, this call that are managed from cluster life science cluster Friuli Venezia Giulia will be followed in the next years, because we want to understand really what happens, how this money was spent, what are the real results. Because usually public money, public office have no time to follow really the next step. We have a target on our operation to follow up such kind of activities. And next years, between 2 years, we hope to be here again. We will to tell some new stories and the status of such evolution of such ecosystem again, because there are also a strong partnership with universities too, and also universities are strongly involved because they have a lot of boxes full of projects. But we want to transfer such projects and some ideas to the market, to some products, to some application.
Thank you very much, Stefano. So we reached the end of our time for the panel, and now the floor is open to questions from the public. If anyone of you from the audience wants to ask a question to our speaker, you're welcome to.
Hello, good afternoon. A very short question to Dr. Demonte regarding booster for life science. I was informed that the financing is running out of the line. Will it be refinanced in the near future?
A good question. Okay, first of all, we mentioned that we have the budget of about 10 millions. I don't know if I explain exactly, but we had a plan to continue until January 26 with many opportunities, with many grants. We finished the money before. We have just finished the money, but we are still some pending projects that are not financed. I signed it yesterday, then I can tell you today. And our regional authorities promise us that they give the remaining money needed to finance every project that have the capability to be was approved. Okay, And now there is a new grant, a new call is closing on Tuesday, okay? And okay, there was about 3 million the budget. They have more requests just now. And the idea is that, okay, they are searching the money. We hope to continue to finance such kind of booster. Not immediately, okay, because what we have seen, that's, okay, after 1 year, okay, sometimes the quality of the project lowered. Because, okay, the best project was in the middle. At the beginning, you have already something, okay, you send, you don't revise it. Then the second call, there was better projects, okay, with more qualities, also with more requests. Now, okay, there is the last one, okay, that means that there are no, then I think that we have to recharge, okay, the ideas and the proposition. Thank you.
Okay, I saw more questions.
I wanted to ask, like, what happens with the funds when you receive them, but you're not able to like meet the requirements for the foundings? Let's say, like, if your startup doesn't meet the requirement, the fund requested to reach, do you like return the fundings, or what happens in that case?
It depends on the nature of the fund. Because if there are some grants, so if you think about grants, there are some grants that are research-based, and usually in research, you know when and where you start, and you hope to know where you will be, and it's never true. You are or more or less than your target. But usually those funds do not require a final goal. So you can even said that I encountered a problem, so we switched the project and so on. So it depends, of course, of the grant. As the private, so the fund that we put in the companies, it's we trust the entrepreneurs. So if it doesn't go, it's lost funds. So usually what you do as a strategy, you put, it's not our case, because we, as a Biovalley, we invest, let's say, in the second step. In the first step, you have, for example, here, you have Bio for Dreams, for the biotech field. They put seed money. So they put 50, 100 kilo euro in your startup or your idea or whatever. And then I have to remember another thing, okay? And they try to follow you as close as they can. And the idea is you put small money in different companies. Most of them will not work. But maybe you find a good manager or a good entrepreneur or somebody that you want in a team of another company. And you put much more money in the company that are growing. So the idea is to have a less risk. You don't put all the money in the first batch of startup. You put a third, half of the money in the batch. Then you see what is working. You put again in what is working, and maybe you put again in the third round. So they are called the follow-ups of the round, okay? And the other thing that I want to say, and this is why my hand is here, is, for example, there is a friend of mine that is managing a venture fund that has a very good, I think, instrument for startups. I cannot remember the name. I remember the name of the VC fund that is called Oblo. And they have small amounts of money, usually 70K, so 70,000 euro. They put in idea of researchers or young entrepreneurs. And 20 kilo is for having you a master in business administration, and 50 kilos is for the startup, because what usually happens is that the researcher has not the skills able to develop the company. Usually the researcher is in love with the idea, with the technology, with the advancement and so on, and they don't care about marketing, sales, and so on. And so having MBA would be a very good thing. And I think that in the last 3 years, they founded more than 30 ideas researchers, and some of them were followed at least one, I know one till 5 million. So it means that it growed a lot. So there are really a lot of opportunities. We are even venture funds here, even if they are based in Milan, they are very looking around all Italy and even here in Trieste. So.
Thank you. You have something to add?
Yes, just one tips. For the public money is so different, since now it was very difficult to control when you arrive and if you reach really your goal, you can write more or less everything. But in this call booster, okay, now we have introduced and certification of TRL of arriving. Then when you finish your project, you have to certificate from an external manager that where are you at the end of the project. And then nothing happened. We don't ask you the money back. Okay, it's research, okay? But anyway, it's very important that a third party check where are you.
Thank you. I think I saw another question around there.
Yes, I heard of the public funding by regional law, and also ARIES is public funded, if I understood correct. Then you have the traditional way, the banks. The third pillar is a bit missing in this picture, at least for me. So do you have any good suggestion to copy from best practices around the world, like these venture capitals, that we can import here, or is it even worth to have something regional, or should we have a broader view and go direct to the big players around the world?
Just let me understand. Your perspective is, of course, of startup.
Yes, and companies as well.
Okay.
Yes. Small companies.
So it depends. So the third pillar is, the first thing, you have Friulia, Finanziario Regionale. Sorry, it's public again. But they can invest only in this region. And so they are investing in, let's see, all the sectors. And they can put money in startups, in grow-ups, and much older companies, let's say. Okay, so they have different instruments. For example, they put money in our company in order that we invest in small and medium enterprises, because they are not able, for example, to manage small investments. First thing. Second one, you have, as I mentioned, Bio for Dreams, that is located here. It's located even in Milano, even in Germany, even in Genova. So in Italy and all around the world. Even maybe they even have a subsidiary in San Francisco. And they invest in the beginning. Okay, so seed capital. Then the guy I mentioned before, so my right hand, that was Oblo Ventures, is like, there are many of them. The other that comes to my mind is a friend of mine from Indaco Ventures. Those are private venture capital that usually invest in vertical sectors. So, for example, Indaco is now collecting money, I think 50 million or 70 million, and they will invest only in digital. So, for example, we are a company that is doing pharma, medical, and digital. They will not invest in us because we are not so exactly vertical. So you have, in Italy, you have many of them. And what I was talking with Finint, that is a private bank, I was talking 2 days ago, and the manager gave a talk to us during the Euro BI Tech, telling us, guys, there are a lot of funds that usually invest in Europe, in France, and in Germany that are looking to Italy because they see there are a lot of niche that can offer a lot of value, and so they are coming here in order to invest in startups and small companies. So you have all the 3 pillars here, okay? And they are here. I mean, really, you can walk to Bio for Dreams, or you can walk to Oblo Ventures or to Friulia, and you are able to attract money. And you have the banks, of course, from Credito Cooperativo to Intesa and many more that are really, they have the instruments that in this case is the state that is putting. So they have guarantees for the 80% of the capital that they give to startups, for example, or innovative PMI. And so you can even talk with banks. Of course, it's not free money. I mean, you have to give back the money. But if you need to finance, you can have a good mix of equity and debt in order to let your company grow.
Okay, Stefano, if you want to add something, but super quick because we've run out of time.
Super. Okay, there are, I can give you some news. Will arrive some digital health venture capital here in our region soon. Then as a cluster, we are organizing periodically, but during next year, we have a big one, Venture Day. Means we call all the names you hear about here. And last, there is a name, very important, Agorai. That means initiative located in Trieste with high tech, then okay, with Generali partnered. Many things are moving.
Okay, so thank you so much for being here and for your questions, and have a good rest of Trieste Next. Thank you so much.
Thank you.